Wes, this is my 17th season at Packers.com. It's also the 17th straight season Green Bay and Chicago are playing in prime time. Packers-Bears, it's time for final thoughts. All right, Weston, what's at stake?
Getting back on the horse. These division games are difficult, and the Green Bay Packers found that out last week against the Minnesota Vikings. There's an opportunity now to come back at Lambeau Field and retake kind of the division, and you're going to have 2 more months now until they have another one going to Detroit. So Green Bay Packers not wanting to fall behind pace here, especially after the Bears winning last week. Matt LaFleur still has not lost to the Chicago Bears. A lot on the line here for Green Bay, even though it is an early season matchup.
Yeah, and I think last week in this segment, I said something along the lines of the Packers establishing their identity and who they are. Well, unfortunately, they didn't really do that on either side of the ball in the opener at Minnesota. So you need to do that here in week 2 against the Chicago Bears, because that will be the first step towards getting a victory and getting that record back to 1-1. Wes, who's heating up? Presented by Aurora Heated Apparel.
Kenny Clark, the Packers' 2-time Pro Bowl defensive lineman, last week was probably the best player on the field for Green Bay. He was really being able to get after it. You look at the sacks he's had, the pressures he's had throughout his time in Green Bay. They're going to need all that against the Chicago Bears front. It's a different type of opponent. Kirk Cousins is a guy that you want to get after, but he's going to stay mostly in the pocket with his play action. Justin Fields wants to extend plays. So I really look at this matchup as something where the more pressure you get up front, in the middle, the better it's going to be for this Packers defense.
Yeah, and my guy in this game is on the offensive side of the ball, and it's tight end Robert Tonyan. We saw him come back his first game last week, back from the ACL injury from last season. 3 catches for 36 yards. As he gets further removed from that injury and his playing time continues to increase, I think his production will increase as well. For the Packers win, Wes, I'm going to go back again to what I said last week. At least I believe I said something about limiting the explosive plays. Well, the Packers didn't do that because Justin Jefferson had a handful of 20-plus yard receptions all by his lonesome. Justin Fields last week for the Bears only had 8 pass completions, but a couple of them were big ones down the field that led to points in the Bears' victory over the 49ers. This Packers defense needs to limit those explosive plays, play their game.
Absolutely, Mike, and I think the Packers win this game if they just get the ball in the hands of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Those 2 backs together, Mike, last season, Green Bay Packers were 10-0 in the regular season in games in which Aaron Rodgers started when those guys got over 20-plus, 25-plus touches, and I think the same thing needs to happen against the Chicago Bears, because it's not just about getting the ball in the back's hands, it's what that represents. Efficiency. The Packers offense is at its best when A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones are doing their thing.
Absolutely, and with that, we'll sign off on this edition of Final Thoughts. Be sure to follow all of our coverage of Sunday night's big game, Packers-Bears at Lambeau Field. We'll have it for you on Packers.com and on all of your social media channels. Thanks for watching, everybody. Enjoy the ball game.